Welcome to the Being Curious Show. I'm Brian Mariani, founder of No Shift Own.
And I'm Kelly Wagner, publisher of Edge Magazine. Our show is about curiously connecting teachers and seekers on a wide range of topics in a safe space. Few topics will be off limits, and we have some amazing guests to share with you.
Our intention is that our conversations will spark your own curiosity to create a life that lights you up and inspires you to be kind, thoughtful, open-minded to yourself and others.
We are on AM 950, Sundays at 2 p.m. and all podcast platforms. So, Brian, what are you curious about today?
Brian is eternally curious, but he's not with us today. We are doing a very, very special show with Noosh. I love that name. That's just awesome. You guys, we are doing a fantastic, today's show is going to be a little different segment. We're going to have two guests on, which I just always adore when we're mixing up with our format and we're playing. And our first guest is Noosh, and she is with we're promoting the Twin Cities Tarot Collective. Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So we're going to pull some cards and we're going to have some fun. But really what we're doing today is promoting an event May 19th through 21st, the North Star Tarot Conference. Again, May 19th through 21st in Minneapolis. So, Noosh, the floor is yours. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Fantastic. Okay. So I say we pull a card.
Let's pull a card.
So who's the deck that you're choosing that you were called to pick with today?
This is the Spolia Tarot, Spolia. And unfortunately, I think it's out of print. So I don't know.
That's not good.
Well, if you fall in love with it, it's hard. So thank God I got it when it was. So I'm gonna pull a card with just coming into the session, just us coming here and people listening, whether they're listening now or in the future. Just that opening hello from the Tarot Muses. Oh, well, hello. And I got the 10 of Cups.
Ooh, okay. Talk to us.
Well, now some people kind of see the 10s as overkill. Like the 9 is the completion and the 10 is you stayed there too long. But, if I stayed there too long in joy and pleasure and happiness, then, oh, well, so
straight up.
The 10 of Cups too is not only one person's happiness, but it's sharing, making a lot of people happy or triggering their happiness instead of trauma. So that's a good way to start a show.
Well, it's a great way to start a show and to promote the North Star Tarot Conference because
absolutely.
Right, it's about all that and all who are called. Grammatically errors wrong all around because I'm starting to channel because that's always fun when Kelly gets on the radio and starts speaking in pictures and geometric symbols and numbers. That's what's great.
If you speak in another language, I'm going to have to interpret for you.
That's perfect. We'll just have silence on air, and Kelly can start broadcasting live telepathically. Oh my goodness! Anything else about the 10 of Cups that we should know about before we ask you what you are curious about?
10 of Cups.
I love how you just said that. 10 of Cups.
10 of Cups. Well, it all starts with one cup, and that one cup is self-love. And so you really, honestly, you kind of do have to love yourself before you can love others. Yeah, absolutely. That is the way it works. So, and I often tell clients or students, you fake it till you make it. If you don't love yourself, just pretend you do and see what happens.
I had 3 clients this week, and I have this cool water bottle that has crystals in it. And
yeah, me too.
Oh, bring them up. Oh my gosh, we basically have like okay, well, now I really think you're cool. For everybody that's listening, we just basically held up the same water bottle that very few people have. So when you have like-minded people that pull this up, it's fantastic. So I'm meeting with these clients and they're on E. They're on E energetically, right? And I just held my water bottle up and I'm like, this has to be full. You can't fill everybody's cup up when you're down with the last couple drops because then nobody wins.
Yeah.
We have to have that self-love. So I love that. That was the foundation of what we started with today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
And what am I curious about? Is that
Yes.
what's the second
What
part of that?
what are you curious about? Like, there's so much going on, and we're gonna
Yeah.
totally do a dive deep into the North Star Tarot Conference, May 19th through 21st. But
Yeah.
curiosity, like, you have been a leader in the Twin Cities for over 35 years in this space, and you must have been curious about a lot of things to be able to do this. Tell us more. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, uh, I think in images. So that's one thing. I don't really think in words and numbers. It's imagery. So when my mom used to read stories to me, I would look at the pictures, the animations, and just go off on my own, like just
Mhm.
follow my own storyline. So tarot was just she actually, I had my first deck when I was pretty young. And they worked right away and scared both my mom and I. So they, she took them, and I didn't pick them up again until my early 20s. But it's because it's a language of imagery,
Mm.
that is, they just, images just open everything up for me. And the more I read the tarot, I think the more psychic I became. I actually feel like instead of going in psychic, I went in fairly psychic and have come out majorly psychic. So it's just like the images also have a way of kind of opening up, I think, connections, the way I see patterns. Um, I'm curious though. I'm very curious about with, technology and the AI and all the different ways that we're going to be able to communicate and how all of that will evolve over the next 20 years is how we need to stay connected to each other as humans. And I want to use tarot to do that. Ideally, Kelly, I'd like to just go around the country and do what I call the tarot sandboxes, where they're just experiential weekends instead of learning the basics. And I have to memorize the meaning for that card. And this is what this means, although I would have to cover a little bit of that. So you have some idea. Mostly it's just using those images to crack open patterns and cycles and mystery and stories, and mostly to be with each other in a personal way, because that will be very needed over the next 20 years is us being with each other in person. Yeah, I think we're going to lose a lot of ways of reading cues if we don't do that.
I just saw my kids wearing their earpods. So we have a Rift at our home.
Mm.
Call out to my husband, Steve. Love him on every single level. But my kids would not have phones. They would not have the little ear things. I have wired everything. I'm really worried about that isolation. And we're coming out of COVID but it's time for community. It's time to gather. It's time to share space and energy and sights and sounds and smells. And we need to do that. And, you know, you've been in this Twin City community for 35 years. How
Yeah.
has the divination community changed in the Twin Cities? Let's just say not just the last couple of years, but over the arcing of you being around
Over the
and
arcing. Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
where do you see the future? So we need this community, but give us a little bit of insight. And if you want to pull a card, pull a card. But like
Okay.
give us some insight on that. So let's just like where we were, and then we have this funky little COVID little bubble, let's call it, and
Right.
how it really changed things up. And then how do we get people back into community? How do we
Yeah.
get people back into that intimate space where we can have that trust?
Well, first of all, I think actually to not be afraid of the tech. It is going to be a part of our lives. It
Yep.
could make stupendous changes. It already has. I mean, if it wasn't for technology during COVID, I think there would have been a lot more problems than there were. At least that,
Agreed.
we were able to communicate with each other. But, when I first moved to the cities in the 80s, there were some legacy readers. There were the cool little, like this, oh God, Sunsites. That was in South Minneapolis. Even Star. There were just a couple long-term stores that had beautiful, like, teachers and readers, and Echo Bodine. We have quite a rich history of psychic and tarot teachers, but they, not Echo as much, but others had either passed away or things
Let's get a
happened.
call out to Echo. She's popping in. Hello, Echo.
Hi, Echo. My husband was actually in her first kind of home group setting teaching. So it was crazy to see the rise of, and thank God, because she has such loving wisdom to share. It's like, thank you. I'm glad she's getting, a platform where she can influence so many people.
Absolutely.
So when I came in, I started teaching at the Open U. It used to be in Dinkytown. It was before the Learning Annex took over. So the Open U was this really funky place. And I just moved to the cities, and I just started teaching because I like playing tarot with people. So I was only 2 steps ahead of any student that I ever had in the classroom. But I literally built my practice on 6 people at a time in a workshop. And we just had a great time. I kind of see myself as like the Montessori of tarot, which is Montessori was so great in terms of our curiosity will bring us exactly to what we need to learn and what we need to do. So you just need a very colorful, stimulating, and organized environment, and your curiosity will take the rest. And I totally believe that. I've done it with tarot over and over again. I just make sure everyone feels safe. There's certain ground rules. I'm really good at keeping boundaries as a teacher.
Good.
Because you need to, especially in New Age, New Age communities.
Oh, yes. You do that again. By the way, I love the Montessori kids, so I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, it's very lovely.
Yeah. And it's just trying to keep things open, and one of the things I learned as a teacher that I just don't know why I have to share this, but I really love this.
Go for
is that the ones who feel really comfortable talking, like myself, I like talking. I love telling stories. I love being a reader. But the ones in the classroom, I'll say, the ones who really feel comfortable talking, don't talk right now. Like save yourself. And the ones who never talk, we want you to go first.
Yeah.
And there's always this really awkward pause, but it really changes the dynamic of the group. And that's what I love doing. I love a whole group of people to feel like they can be themselves, but there's a certain modicum of we're going to agree to treat each other a certain way while we're here.
That's so important.
Oh my God.
Just honor. It's collaboration. That's true, right?
And you're seeing everyone as a peer, but everyone's responsible for taking care of themselves, and how do we do that? Yeah, I'll pull a card. Let's pull a card on how best to be with each other with the rising of more technology. And so I got, the sun. Isn't that beautiful? Look at, she's doing a cartwheel.
She is doing a cartwheel.
A little back bend cartwheel. So it's kind of like, just bring it into the light. And in fact, get out into the light, just take a walk at least, do something with the other 2 kingdoms, not the human kingdom, the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Just get out there.
Yeah.
But also it ties to the joy of the 10 of Cups. It's just don't overthink all this stuff. It's just being with each other and just creating cool spaces with each other that's it. Bingo. Whether it's around dinner or around a weekend conference, it doesn't matter, actually.
It's interesting. I'm seeing the Trivial Pursuit game piece.
The what?
The game Trivial Pursuit.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's like a circle and everything's like a little pie piece and they're all different colors. So you go around the board and you have arts and entertainment, you have history. And I just look at it that bringing this group together is everybody's a pie piece and they all bring something different to the table. But every pie piece is important and every pie piece is the same size, right?
Absolutely.
So it's coming together and celebrating. And you have this and you have this. And come on, let's share and let's collaborate.
Yeah, let's play together.
Collaborate. Okay, so you're also, tell us more about the Twin Cities Tarot Meetup.
Okay. So what I started to do with I would teach for years, but then I developed some people that we just really kind of glommed onto each other. And so I've been doing like a tarot circle for almost about the same time, and some from the students of OpenU, but we kind of opened up an equal circle where, we're learning together, and it wasn't like I was the teacher. And that kept growing. And my cohort, Melanie Weber, and I have a meetup, the Yahoo meetup group, where you can go in and there's, Lord, I just forgot Meg's last name again. Meg, please forgive me. Meg and Sam are two of our teachers that teach through cyber, through the meetup group. And I have a meetup group every month at the Eye, and it's called the Tarot Sandbox. It's the second Sunday of every month.
Great.
And you don't need, it's $10. And if you don't have $10, that's okay. And if you don't have cards, that's okay. I have tons of decks. So I don't want anyone to not come because they don't feel like they know enough, or they don't have the money for it, or, it's like, no, let's just erase some of those limitations and just come in and let's play. I mean, that's the idea of a sandbox, is no one throws sand.
Nope.
And you have to share your tools. So
I love the rules of the board. Just like, don't throw sand and share your tools.
And share your tools. Yeah.
That's like perfect in life though, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So North Star Tarot Conference, tell us about it. So it is at is it the Modus Locus Events and Art and Architectural Center?
Yeah, it's a newly renovated space in the Art and Architecture building,
Beautiful.
which is at 3338. Let me make sure I say
University
that.
Avenue Southeast.
That's it. And it used to be a woodworking shop, and they're renovating it right now. And one room alone is 250 square feet. And then there's another room that's 250 square feet. It's going to be really cool and funky, big windows. We're going to have, on Friday night, we're calling it the 5D Lounge Night on Friday, because that's open to the public. You do not have to join the conference. You can come on in from 5 to 9, and we're going to have tarot readers, really cool vendors. One, especially Tarot Garden, has tarot decks that you can't even wrap your mind around it. So like old ones, new ones, international ones. I've never seen kind of the boutique of cards like that. And then our local stores, Magus will be there, the Eye. It's going to be great. And then I'm also giving just a free tarot basics class, I think from 7 to 8. But the funnest part of the night will be Melanie is leading Tarotchi. And Tarotchi was what we think was the original use of tarot, which is a game. It's like bridge and poker. It's a combination. So it's free on Friday night. So you just come on in from 5 to 9.
5D Lounge, all are welcome. Come on in. Okay. And then come what?
And come play.
And
then,
play. Well,
and then Saturday and Sunday is the conference, and we'll have all kinds of workshops and a sound bath, a Mediterranean lunch that we're serving on Saturday. Saturday night is a costume ball just for participants, although I am going to do a little VIP tickets to a few people like you, Kelly. But you can come as your favorite tarot persona or your 5D self. And if you don't know what that means, just listen to David Bowie's Starman. That will help you with the 5D self. And just celebrate. And that night, we're going to have even a little, an hour-long variety show. So if you want to sign up and do a little song and dance, or do a reading, or whatever however you want to express yourself.
Oh, that's beautiful. And then tell me about, so that's the wave of beautifulness on Saturday night. And then tell us how you wrap everything up on Sunday.
Sunday, we'll start with a sound bath, and then there's a workshop that's going to happen, but I can't tell you much about it because it kind of we're building up to it. And then there's a couple other workshops, and then we have, and we're going to have some amazing giveaways. Like we're making groups right now, the astrology giveaway, the beginners giveaway, and we're going to be giving away things. And then we always have a ritual that we open the conference with on Saturday morning. And then Sunday, we have a ritual that closes it, because I just don't, a lot of times when you have really cool experiences with people, it's actually hard to leave or go home. So I always do a ritual where it's actually, bridging you to go home, is to help you re-enter
No,
the,
that's beautiful. So you open it up and you create this beautiful, safe, sacred space,
yeah,
and all are welcome. I'm just seeing you do this.
yeah,
And then you enjoy the fluidity of the weekend.
that's
And
right.
then as you're wrapping up, it's kind of like putting that no time, no space cocoon, honoring the space, but then also instead of just like kicking people to the curb,
Yeah,
it's easing back into the energy outside of the beautiful high vibrational space that they've been just experiencing for the last 48 hours.
that's right. It's
And
almost like
then
we were all
integration.
sitting. Go ahead.
Well, and then, but it's the integration, because
Yeah,
people will be integrating the weekend for days to come afterwards.
that's right. And it's almost like we were all at a good fire that we all
Mhm.
built together. So here's your torch. Why don't you bring that home and light up your people?
Absolutely.
Let's keep the grid healthy. You
Now,
know,
are you gonna have different people doing the sound bath, or are you gonna have one person doing the sound
there's
bath?
one Klee, uh,
Okay.
Kalalia Endeavor. God, please forgive me, Klee, for massacring her name. I always just call her Klee.
I say everybody's name wrong, and I promise you I try so hard to be like, right? I like even my husband was editing videos the other day. He's like, "Kelly, you can't get so excited when you say somebody's name right." I was
Well,
like,
and also just about one thing about North Star is this year is, first of all, 2023 is the year of Chariot and Tower. So if you added 2 + 2 + 3, it's 7. And the major arcana of Chariot and major arcana of Tower, which is 1 and 6. So the whole conference is really built around the themes of uh chaos, liberation, revelation, regeneration, and really the Chariot, just us trying to hold our own, and stay steadfast in love.
I'm just
So,
showing you this because you just said chaos. Our latest edition of the Edge magazine's on chaos. So I love that you're like,
yeah,
"Yay!" Right? That's just beautiful. Oh
yeah,
my
we're
gosh,
calling it kind of ride the chaos. That's our kind of tagline.
right?
Well,
It's
especially with everything that's going on out here, it's like, no, don't contract and hide. Just be love, let your light shine, help the grid, and we're gonna get through this together one way or the other.
I
So
keep getting that we need to learn to surf. And surfing isn't just about getting on a board and catching a wave, but it starts before you even get into the water. And
yeah,
what is the wind, and where's the tide, and what is the right, like it's just knowing that 360 of just what's going on and how's it going. And it's
yeah.
just it's right, it's
And
beautiful.
how do you stay in your core?
How do you say,
How do you trust your core to go with the flow as best as possible?
and going the flow is so, so important. Okay, what is the website? So if people want to register, they want to find out more.
Absolutely. The tctarotcollective.com.
That's
And
beautiful.
and there's
And
a link
also
that'll bring you.
beautiful. And also, if everyone know, they are partnering with the Wyndham Days Inn University Southeast Hotel. They've put off a block of rooms for $109 a night. This is
Yep.
going to be a beautiful conference. Be curious, that's all about our show.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed that you're on today,
Well,
and
thank
this is
you.
gonna be a great event. Anything else? We have about 1 minute left. What else would you like to share with the audience? You might have an offer, didn't you?
Did I what?
You had an offer about the first 20 folks to sign up for the North Star are eligible to win an
You know
out of
what? That our first 20 already signed up. Oh,
Okay,
that's what I should
sorry
tell you.
guys. That's okay.
That we only have 78 seats. So we're
Oh,
limiting it at 78. So, and it's about 170, right? It is 170 to register, but You get Friday through Sunday, Friday evening through Sunday afternoon. But I do want to make sure that people feel comfortable just to come Friday night if they can't commit
Come on.
the whole weekend.
Okay, you guys, sign up. Just be curious, have fun. Thank you so much for being on today.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
This was delightful. Being curious with Kelly and Brian and Noosh. Have an amazing one. We'll see you soon.
Before you guys jump back in, do you want me to stop the stream or keep it running right now?
You can stop it.
Stop? Okay, hold on.
Bye, everybody.